Not the skirt. Oh, please shoot him next. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Squid Games. We're on season 2, episode 6, which is called OX. So in the last episode, we ended the episode with starting a new game, which is brand new to us as well as to all the players. Apparently it's a game where they have to form groups quickly and then in those groups enter all these new like little rooms or whatever. But it's looking like there could be an issue depending on the numbers that are generated from this game. So we'll have to see how that goes. But the last episode really just focused on the fact that Gian is starting to lose a little bit of heart as far as being able to get everybody out alive, in the sense of realizing that the people are not cooperating with him. So he's reassessing a lot of why he's there and whether or not this is going to be fruitful. And Ino is continuing to play his mind games. And like I said, I'm not really sure where he's going with that, but maybe we'll get some more insight into it with this new game, because I was saying that there has to be a game that's going to allow Inho to be able to slide away and do the work that he's supposed to be doing. And this might be the game, considering they're going to be locked away in rooms. So we'll have to see what goes down. I'm ready to jump into the episode. So let's do that. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Okay, groups of 10. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Oh, the chaos, the chaos. I'm sorry, for the timing reasons, we gotta go with 5 and 5. Yep, take the crazy lady. I know it sucks, but we gotta do it. Run, run, run. Move your asses. Pali, 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 pali. Dura, dura, dura. Don't look. Why would you look, Ian? Sniped. Close range. You know, you psychopath. Shut up. You'll get clapped again, ma'am. Triangle gonna finish him off. She's right there, waiting to finish him off. You know she gonna. Oh. Did it work? I'm not mad at her though, because unfortunately there's more of them than her, and if she realizes there is no way to get help, it's not worth it. My guess, and I say not worth it in this instance, like if you're gonna take them out, she's gonna have to take them out another way. Not these two jokers. Please, Lord, I'm done with them. It's so interesting seeing that actor in this show because he's had such a small part. 4. That's what happens when you're such a cow. Something tells me he's going to work. Young-Il's gonna have to figure it out, or Young-Il's ready to stop playing and he's gonna get killed. Gian, get in there. You're gonna kill everybody if you don't. This is not good cardio for Granny's heart. Did he really? Is he playing, or was he actually so high that he forgot that he kicked him? He probably the latter. You think they didn't know? You dummies! What in your mind would make you think this game would let y'all slide? Listen, this hazard they create by not cleaning up the blood is crazy. On a slick ass floor. Okay, I think we're losing Minsu. You see your boyfriend? No one cares. Move on. You're right about that.
이런 짝짓기 게임 강합니다.
You're a likable guy.
잠깐 근데 우리 그 다음에 만약에
I keep wondering if he
여성으로
feels anything
우리 이대로 오케이 아닌가?
for the pregnant girl. I mean, it's been over a decade, but.
아 근데 쌍둥이면 어떡해요?
Oh, don't even say that. Look away, sir. None of this would have happened if you'd answered the damn phone that day. Sorry, sis. One thing you learn about men is that they're toxic AF, and they're always going to choose each other over the right decision. Also, you said that you didn't think he'd last long, so, you know, fragile egos and all. No, she was never going to let herself go, save herself over you, sir. Uh-oh. That looks like a face of resignation. I think she's done with this. No. No. No.
기다리라고 했는데 내가 이제 정신이 좀 없어가지고.
그리고 안 왔어요?
You know, you are a dick.
우리 아들은요. 그런 사람 아닙니다. 아무리
Still
없이
trying to
살았어도
dehumanize these people.
한 번도 한 적이 없습니다. 말씀 함부로 하지 마세요.
That's what I'd like to have a real mother. 141. I think we're going to be down to 100 by the end of this game.
Welcome back, my friends.
Not the skirt. Oh, please shoot him next. Ruin that one friendship you had. But at least you know what's up now, girl. Was it worth it for your ego?
살았어, 엄마 살았어. 너 어디 다친 데는 없어? 응?
Reality hitting him that he's really gonna lose her in here. It's too late for Biane. Too late for Biane. Really hitting him now that he's gonna lose her in here. Wasn't real before. We don't have time for this. We have another game starting. Look at the death grip. The Vulcan death grip. You're gonna take her hand off, sir. I mean, I'm not blaming him. Like, I don't play by my mama. I don't play by my mama. I would never do this, but... So, is anybody... Get out! Get out! No, not the pregnant... Was that the pregnant girl or the shy girl? That was the shy girl. Sorry. She wasn't gonna make it. I know, bros. 안녕.
너 때문이야.
That's her baby daddy, though.
나 아니었으면 당신도 죽었어.
너 때문이야. 너 아니었으면 살릴 수 있었어. 시간이 없었다고.
There was 1 second.
저 여자 구하러 가는 순간 당신도 죽고.
That's true. He did that to save his baby.
내 말이 틀렸어요. 다들 말 좀 해봐요.
Annoyingly, he's right.
이 사람 말이 맞아요.
In this case, unfortunately, he is right. Y'all would have died. Don't be mad at him. Be mad at the game. Hi, Yomiya.
고마워.
I don't.
착각하지 마.
Yeah, she's like, I just
그냥
told
네
the
말이
truth.
맞았을 뿐이야.
We're not there. They're gonna have their tearful goodbye moment at some point.
이번엔 몇 명이나 부를 것 같냐?
We don't know. Just listen clearly.
2명.
왜요?
남은 사람 수가 126명. 여기 방은 50개. 사람 수보다 방이 부족해요.
Good point. See? Good thing there's people who can do maths. I can't do maths. Shouldn't be funny. I want that guy to... I want both of them to go. Hallie, what? You're not running and praying at the same time, ma'am. Woo!
우리 먼저 들어왔어.
Ino is a freaking savage. And there's a reason he couldn't do that in front of Gian. I mean, he didn't plan it, but... God damn. I feel like 11's gonna go down to where the operation is just take everybody out. I don't know. I don't feel like she's taking that L so quietly.
드론이요, 드론. 드론. 아우, 좋네. 이렇게 하니까 간편하네.
I trust you, Captain Park.
황영이 2년 동안 그렇게 뒤져도 못 찾았던 건데 며칠 안에 찾을 수 있어?
I mean, at this point, we just gotta try.
이 드론도 있잖아.
단장님, 드롱이 아니라 드론.
아,
우리 나가서 다시 시작하자.
Huh?
다시?
No, we're good.
우리 아이도 낳고 새로 시작할 수
6
있어.
months, bro, with no contact? No. He'd probably take your share of the money and disappear. Don't do it.
그거 너랑 나랑 합치면 꽤 되는 돈이잖아.
See? No,
그걸로
girl.
일단 급한 빚부터 갚고 남은 돈은 내가 새롭게 투자할 때 알아볼게.
Whose debt? Is it your debt or her debt?
내가 주식적으로 괜찮은 팀 하나 알고
Oh, here we
있거든.
go.
거기서
See?
인버스랑
He's
선물
learned
쪽으로
nothing.
파는데
Move. Run. Run.
난 돈 제대로 벌어서 다 같이 잘 살아.
제대로?
Always enough.
제대로가 얼만데?
Exactly. When will it be enough for you?
난 내 돈으로 내 아이 키울 테니까.
Exactly. This baby's gonna need money now, not on your future investment nonsense.
그렇고 그런 사이
제주도 좋네. 여기까지 들어와서.
Don't harass her because of him.
이놈 두고 그년 저승길
길동무가 될 거니까.
Can you Spartan kick her right in the face, please? I'm over it.
이 안에서 차례대로 하나씩 숨통을 끊어달라고.
Do you know anything about karma, sis? Anything you wish on others, it comes right back onto you. So keep it up.
그 무당이 아니라 그냥
You just figured that out?
년일세, 어?
Exactly. Nasty energy.
다 같이 손잡고 다시 게임을 하러 갈 겁니까?
Hand in
저도
hand.
기훈 씨 마음 이해해요.
Do you?
저도 여기서 지금 당장 나가고 싶어요.
You mean to go back to your suite?
더 침착해야 돼요.
설득이 안 되면 멱살이라도 잡고 이쪽으로 끌고 와야 합니다.
How are you going to
지금
do that?
저쪽을
It's not
자극하면
democracy.
표를 하기도 전에 큰 싸움이 생길 수가 있어요. 그게 기훈 씨가 원하는 겁니까?
Have you not seen the two idiots that have been high the whole time? They will absolutely fight you. Not well, but they'll still fight you.
이 상금이요. 대충 계산해도 3억이 넘어요. 이 정도면 우리가 이길 확률 충분히 있다고 생각해요.
It sucks because Inno's not completely lying. It's true. Like at this point, every time he's tried to interfere with the vote, it's gotten people more angry than not.
3억 5,600. 그래 이 정도면은 분명히 몇 명은 마음을 바꿀 거야.
Will it? These are greedy people.
어떠한 종류의
Thank
소란행위도
you.
금지하겠습니다.
Either side.
유념해 주시기
Because
바랍니다.
honestly, if he'd been quiet last time, they might have had a better chance of winning, but then that old man got to get everybody chanting one more game. Ooh, X side is looking weak. Oh, he held that button this time.
전하, 예쁜 얼굴이 기스도 안 나고 앞으로도 잘 부탁해.
In the balls. Yeah, see, she might have actually turned her head away, but now you pissed her off. I'm that kind of person, like, just leave me be. When you start getting condescending, then I gotta do it just to piss you off. She's planning revenge, absolutely. We're really gonna have to tolerate this idiot to the end, aren't we? Do you know how unhygienic that is? Oh my god.
이번에도 또 뻘짓거리 하면은
Ah,
여기서
God! She ain't tripping. He may actually stay this time because he looked like he got genuinely shook at the idea of his mom dying. Finally.
가자 민수야, 가자.
Yeah, continue to leave their dicks in your mouth. But then again, maybe he really does want to play. Wow. One of your balls actually dropped. I mean, they're going to bully you regardless. See how you manned up and how she's looking at you again? No body armor? You already know these people have sharpshooters. I would not be going out so openly vulnerable like. Don't be an explosive. Just hit me. Just hit me that it was probably an explosive.
우리 용식이 이번엔 틀림없이 가위표 두릅니다.
No, I think it's interesting because the fact that Ino made the point of saying your son left you. Yep, you see that look in his eye? Junbe.
기훈아.
001 don't look right. Oh yeah, he killed someone. I forgot he saw that. Yeah, I told you. This woman's she's literally creating a cult in this.
50대 50이면 무슨 분이에요, 그죠?
Why didn't he finish the story? Maybe he's scared of him. Now, does he want to go through the trouble of having these people leave and recruit them all back? Yeah, he should.
그러니까 이게 말하기가 좀 그런데.
Could you say it quickly though?
마지막 게임 때 방에서.
Hurry up! I was sick. Why wouldn't he finish the damn story?
아니 지금 동점인데
Exactly.
이제 어떻게 되는 겁니까?
Okay, indeed.
재투표! 그건 언제 하는 겁니까?
Right now.
여러분들에게 생각할 시간을 드리기 위해 내일 재투표를 실시하겠습니다.
Oh, people are dying tonight. Some people are definitely dying tonight.
저 친구 병원에도 가야 되고.
어때? 버틸 수 있지?
네, 괜찮습니다.
Maybe we should make sure he doesn't have a concussion.
아이 그래도 이 사람이 죽은.
See, why are you so quick to go home, bro?
이 자식 눈 제대로 감게 해주려면 그놈들 찾아내서
That's what I'm saying. At this point, you might as well just finish up.
이제부터 무전기 주파수 하루에 한 번씩 변경하고 휴대전화 사용을 금지하겠습니다.
Bro, your spy is right in front of you. He's right there. He's right there.
나 무슨 말을 하다가 만 거야?
Yeah, finish your sentence for the
영일 씨 말이야.
love of God.
어떻게든 여기서 빨리 나가자. 더 있다가는 나도 이상해져 버리겠어.
Why choose to protect him?
재투표를 하면 우리가 이길 수 있을까요?
That is a good question.
이게 사람이 배가 고프면은 집 생각이 나는 법이거든.
You think food's enough? Some of them are literally surviving on pills right now.
우리는 각자 8억씩 가지고 나갈 수 있어.
Have you not figured out these people don't give a damn?
나 해병대다 이 씨발놈아.
네가 해병대면 난
I was about to say, this is not a flex. Everybody here, unless they were incapable, has gone to the military. This is exactly what said would happen, unfortunately.
내가 여기 오기 전에 자살하려고 한강 다리 위까지 올라갔었거든.
I was about to say something really rude, but I'm going to be quiet.
씨발 동그라미를 왜 공격해? 아가리 닥쳐라.
It's way too much testosterone in this room.
이 새끼야.
민술라,
Run, Minsu. I don't know what to tell you.
너 약 빨았어?
No, you the one who's been high the entire time.
내가 네 손가락 잘라다가 걔한테
I
선물하면서
don't really think she cares about that.
You love it.
So easily baited. So easily baited. In the one place there's no cameras.
You fucking son of a 씨발놈 bitch!
Bye, MG Coin. Did someone finally do what needed to be done? Oh, they all got forks. They all got forks. I told you there was going to be no fair. Okay. I see. So that is why he voted. That's why Young-il, Inho, chose to keep the vote even, because he knew that he was wanting to start some ish. Everything, it's interesting because, the infighting, I had a feeling they were going to let that happen because they wanted it to happen in the first season, right? Because they said there were too many people. They don't want to drag this out. There's only, 3 days left? So, and if they're wasting a day with a vote, this is a way to make sure that the game is smaller, right? So, and again, I think they didn't lose enough people in the last game either. So interesting, but I'm not mad, honestly. I was waiting for Thanos to go. I'm so over him in his mouth. I'm so done. So yeah, bye, sir. And again, as soon as he starts threatening a pregnant girl, he can go. He can go as far as I'm concerned. But all right, guys, that was O and X, and this episode was definitely much more about the voting, this other sub game within the game that's been happening with the whole voting process. And again, just another form of a gamble, just in a different type of stakes. But we started the episode with continuing with the new game. So with this game, we saw that it really kind of was about the relationships that people had already built, which I thought was interesting. Getting with a rando in this situation was not ideal. And obviously people who had already felt some level of connection to other people were more likely to join together for this game, since they knew it was always going to be at least a minimum of 2 people. But interesting the way those dynamics all shook out in the end. And, the quick thinking it took as well, like the fact that they kind of started thinking ahead of time, like, what do we do if there's this many numbers? What do we do if this happens? And thankfully, because they put a little bit of pre-thought into that, when the time was going down, they were able to quickly be like, okay, the women go together, you two go together, us 4 will go, you look for someone else. Like, that kind of strategy really helped them to be able to think on the dime and not necessarily get caught up in the panic of it all. But anyways, we see two things that kind of came out of this game that I think, well, three main things that came out of that particular game. One was that the son, I can't think of his name right now, with the mother, he'd been kind of taking this half seriously up until this point, right? Like when he voted to stay in the game, in his mind, he was feeling invincible, right? Him and his mom had made it through all the games thus far. He was riding that high, that gambler's high. And even though his mom kept saying to him, like, we may not survive the next game, I don't think you're understanding that these are life and death. Like, we've lucked out this far. This is not a guarantee. But in this game, we see there was the one where he ended up literally getting physically dragged away from his mother, and he couldn't even stop it. And she just let it happen, right? Because she's like, again, this is a mother, right? She's not going to go and sacrifice her son for herself, right? Typically. So that happened, and he really had no idea whether or not his mom had survived, right? And so realizing that we see when he got out, he was literally shook into his core. Like that's when it really hit him that, okay, now I could really lose my mom like this, and I'm really not prepared for all that. So that was one good thing I suppose that happened, is that the game got finally, the mortality of it really got real for him. And again, it's not to say he didn't realize people were dying before, but I don't think he put the seriousness on losing someone he cared about, right? Because that's really, in Squid Game, even the first season, it really didn't start to get real for a lot of them until someone they formed a bond with or someone they cared about about in the game died, right? That's when it really hit them that, oh wow, like this is real, right? So anyway, that was one thing. The second was we lost somebody, right? So this is again the reminder for Hyunju, right? Hyunju voted yes in the last one, and again, everyone understood and no one was really upset with her for doing it, but this is when Hyunju for the first time lost somebody, right? Hyunju kind of got really close to, was it Minji? Was her name? It wasn't Minji, but something close to that. Anyway, that was kind of his bestie in the game, right? They'd formed this bond, and anyway, seeing her die and literally in front of her eyes, right? Like it was a situation where she was prepared, like they were going to the room and then she fell, which again, just in a rush, you cannot risk that. And in the end, we see that Mr. Bitcoin showed up and ended up taking her place. And unfortunately, everything he said was true. Like it was not the most kind way, but there was no way that Hyunju was going to get out, save her, and bring them back in and get in time. That wasn't going to happen. As Mr. Bitcoin said, you know, harshly but truly, which is, bro, if I hadn't come in, you would have died, she would have died, everyone in the room would have died. Like literally, it wouldn't have just been her life, it would have been all of us. So that was not a risk that was worth taking, unfortunately, in that case. And also his pregnant girlfriend was in there, which of course he didn't say that. He's still trying to keep the nature of their relationship somewhat on the DL, but you get it. Like he did that. I mean, I'll give MG that. Like he did save his baby, right? He really did try to save his baby. And I do think it was, I mean, I'm going to say both of them, but anyways, we'll get to him in a second. But anyway, that happened. So that really gave, again, Hyunju that reality check that, again, this is a real game that really takes lives. So this was kind of his, snap, right? I did not expect that to happen. I did not want that to happen. And now here we are, right? So that was the other realization. And then the third one was, of course, when Young Il goes and we see that there's the when it was the two-man thing, they end up fighting for a room. And it becomes a situation where you have to sacrifice people, right? He said it before the game even kicked off, or the last round even kicked off. He's like, there's only 50 rooms, right? There's no more. It's got to be 2. He's like, there's not going to be enough room for everybody. There's like, the numbers don't add up otherwise. So it's going to be 2. So anyways, the point being, there were more people than there were rooms. And he was like, we're going to have to fight for rooms. So that's what it came down to. And then we see they get to a room and there's someone in it. And of course they ask him to leave, but understandably, dude's like, nah. Right? And they realize the time is not, they don't have the time to try to drag this man out. So he does what he needs to do. He ends up taking him out himself. And of course, this is kind of an eye opener for Junbei. Like he's like, wow, okay, I didn't think you just go ahead and do that, even though everyone's got the capability of doing that in this point. But this is the first time he's seen someone take them out just like that, right? And I don't think Junbei would have been able to do it, honestly. Like even though it was a life or death situation, I don't think, no one's had to really use their bare hands to do something in this point until this point. So anyway, this is a realization for Junbei that there's something off about Jung-il, finally. After all, Young-il. This is the first time he's like, okay, maybe this guy actually scares me a little bit, because he did that, didn't bat an eyelash. And that's the thing, like usually it's one thing, okay, fine, he did that to save your lives, but the usual response to taking someone's life, especially in such a personal way, is to be a little shooketh afterwards, right? To be a little upset, maybe a little PTSD, because for most people, it's not normal to take them out. But in this case, homie just shrugged it off. He was just kind of like, yeah, okay, killed them, rolled the body off of him, and then he won on. He's like, okay, we won, yay, victory. You know what I'm saying? So this is really, because we see it, right? You see Junbei really watching Young-il after this happens, and he sees that Young-il is unfazed, right? As much as Young-il is playing this role, he keeps letting parts of his mask slip from time to time. And this is when Junbei finally sees that, when he's like, you just killed a man and you don't seem to be at all upset about it. Like, it's one thing to watch somebody else in these games get got at this point, but you did this yourself and you're just like, move on, right? So anyways, we see that now he's feeling a bit unsettled, but he's scared, because he's like, if he did that to a dude and didn't even think about it, what would he do to the rest of us, right? What kind of a person is that? So, your gut's finally starting to tell you something's off about someone. That's what's going on with him. So those are the 3 things that came out of the game. And then we had another vote, as we saw, and it ended up being 50-50. We had a lot of people switching sides. And in the end, they said, okay, well, in the event of a tie, we have to do another revote. That's the only way to do it. So we're going to give you a night to think about it, and then we'll revote in the morning. But as I said, obviously a bloodbath. right? Because now both sides know that they need to convince at least one person to switch to the other side. And people are getting desperate, right? The greedy people are still greedy. Their greed's actually intensified now, and they're bloodthirsty, to be honest. Like, they have we saw that with the last episode. They have zero conscience about the people who've died. At this point, they care about the money and nothing but the money. And then you got the people who really want to leave, and they're desperate to leave, but these are people who still are in touch with their humanity, right? So they're not wanting to hurt people per se, right? They're willing to defend themselves, but they're not really trying to be the aggressors. So this is where the issue is going to come in, right? But as soon as they said, give you a night to think about it, I knew that the game was basically saying, no, we were saying, oh, before no one's going to attack, but we want to encourage the bloodbath, right? And last season we saw that they didn't even need to do that much with this group, right? Last season, because the gangsters were there, they were already doing the midnight, culling on their own. But since this group is a little bit more kumbaya than last season, they were like, we need to give them a reason. We need to push them to the point of taking some people outside of the games. So that's what this did, giving them the night to think about it. Of course, someone was going to start doing something. And then we see that they start trying to do the whole convincing thing. And last episode we saw that Eno was like, no, we can't go over and try to convince them or interfere. It's going to cause a problem. This episode he's like, yeah, no, we should do it. We should definitely do it. We should talk to them, right? Again, sparking the spark that he knew he needed to get this thing going. So inevitably tensions are high and both sides are trying to, put up a good argument. But at this point, I feel like there's certain people, the people who have solidly voted yes this entire time to continuing the game, they're not going to change their minds. They don't care, right? At this point, they've shown they care about the money. That's all that matters. There's no humanity. There's no empathy. There's no sense of just general human decency. It's money or nothing, right? And then for the people who are on the other side who voted X the whole time, they're not going to change either because they genuinely don't care. But we've got a new third element too, actually, with the crazy shaman lady. She's creating a cult, which I'm like, this is worrisome because cult people are the most dangerous because they really do not care about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're cuckoo. But anyway, so she's another element in there. Now she wants to go on with the games. But again, she wants to do it because she wants to see the people who left her, rightfully so, because she's been a flake since day one in the last game. So now she's like, I want to see you all die. So I'm going to stay in the games just so I can see you die, which I'm like, sis, as a shaman, you should know about karma. You put that kind of energy out there for somebody else, it's going to come right back at you tenfold. So she's definitely not going to make it. But digressing, so there's all this kind of elements going on, and we see that it comes to a culmination point towards the end here. And before we get to that, we see that Mr. Bitcoin is trying to rekindle things with his ex. I guess seeing her there and everything. I mean, he did explain a couple episodes ago that one of the reasons he stayed away from her is because he was afraid that the loan sharks were going to come after her, which is most likely valid. But again, he could have still called her. Do you feel me? Like, I understand him not physically wanting to live with her and be with her, but I doubt they're going to go to the lengths of tracing your calls, bro. Like, you could have sent her a text to let her know you're okay. You could have at least let her know what's going on so that she doesn't have to sit there and be pregnant and worried. But you really, let's face it, if you hadn't seen her here, you weren't planning on seeing her again. Let's keep it a buck. Like, if you'd gone into this and she hadn't, and you won somehow, you probably were never going to see her again. Let's keep it completely truthful. But I digress. He's saying now that if they make it out of this, he wants them to get back together and rekindle and let's fix things. And I'm like, no. How about no? How about we just take a step on that, take a beat, and just let's see how things go. Because, sir, 6 months. You left this girl for 6 months on her own. Nah, you need to earn your trust back. But thankfully, she didn't fall for it. She was kind of like, okay, what's your plan then? Tell me what your plan is if we get out of this. What do you mean? And unsurprisingly, he talks about pooling their money. And didn't I say it in the episode? I said, girl, he gonna take your share and disappear. That's what he's gonna do. But what did he do? He exposed himself, right? He's like, yep, we'll combine our money. I got somebody else, no more Bitcoin. I got a new investment, right? That's his high, right? Maybe he's not going into the casinos. Maybe he's not buying lottery tickets or betting on horses, but all these new investment, these new things that he's investing in, that's his high, right? Again, the get rich quick scheme. And again, it's not to say that investments are a bad thing. Sometimes you do have to take a risk on something that's untested in order to potentially get a reward. But the point is, you got a baby on the way. Before you talk about investments, pay off the debt you owe and then take what you've got left and see what you can do to provide for your child. That should be the mentality when you have a baby coming. But no, he's already talking about gambling away the money in the world again. So yeah, smartly, our girl said, nah, you know what, fam, you do what you want with your money. But for me, as for me and mine, fine. I'm going to take care of my child. That's why I came into this in the first place. I need to take care of my baby. So you do what you're going to do. I'm going to be over here. But we see that, that interaction and that, that little conversation catches the eye of Worm 2 there, Thing 2, who's following around Mr. Thanos. And he's like, I think there's something going on there. I'm like, we see that this bully has nothing else to do but just look for people to stalk and bully. So anyway, unfortunately now he's looped this poor girl into this bullying thing that he's got going on with MG Coin. And we see that that factors in later on when they get into the bathroom later, and we see that the bullying, the intimidation is continuing. I mean, MG Coin didn't have to intervene on Minsu's behalf, but I appreciate that he did, because Minsu was definitely going to fold. And I don't blame him. Like, these guys were literally threatening him. So digressing, we see that this kicks off a fight, and yeah, we knew it was going to happen, right? From the second they started fighting verbally at dinner time, we knew that it was going to go into something bigger. And that was one thing also that we saw, that during dinner time that Gion opened up his food and realized they put a fork in there. Now, if y'all know anything about kimbap, which is what they were eating, they don't really eat it with a fork in Korea. That's something that you either bite into directly, or they use chopsticks if they have them, or more often than not, they just eat them. Point being, he knew it was strange. Like, why would you give a fork with kimbap? And now we discover that all of them were given forks. And again, as I said, they anticipated that there was going to be a battle, and they wanted to make sure it was bloody. So as we see, the fight kicks off in the bathroom, and it's getting pretty bad for Mr. Bitcoin, because unfortunately Thanos fights better than he does. And yeah, it's literally do or die, right? Thanos is prepared to kill him, right? And again, whether that's because he really would have done it actually, yes, he would have, because we keep forgetting that he shoved those people down in the first game. But also I think a lot of this because the man's been high as a kite. But digressing, it's do or die, and we see that it's die for Thanos, because MG says, I'm not going out like this, and he uses his fork and stabs him. Again, it may not kill him. I mean, a fork under here, yeah, he could survive that, depending. But if he hit anything as far, look, was the jugular? I don't know anatomy, but I don't know. He could survive it, is my point. But the way it looked like, I don't think he will. I think the whole idea is that people are going to go out tonight. A lot of them are going to go out tonight. So we'll have to see what happens. I feel like the best thing that Gian can do is probably protect the pregnant girl and the old lady, and do their best to avoid the worst of the carnage, because yeah, getting out there right now is probably going to be bad for a lot of people. But the whole point is the vote's going to be very interesting now, because we're clearly not going in with 100 people. There's not going to be 100 people for the next vote. There's going to be significantly less. So yeah, another good episode. We see that the stakes are slowly raising, but we are only on game 3, guys. Game 3 of what's supposed to be 6 games. So yeah, 3 games left, 1 episode. Not sure what we're gonna have. Like, I don't think I did hear there is a season 3, so spoiler for me, but I know we're not gonna wrap all this up. But I do wonder where they're gonna end it, as far as after what happens in this night. And oh yes, the only other thing in this episode was on the outside, they finally found an island. I don't know if it's the island, but it has a hatch there. But I think last season we saw that not everything happens on the same island. I believe that they have a couple of islands. Like, one of them is where the games happen. I do believe they have a separate island where they like keep supplies and also dump some of the bodies and stuff. So I don't know if they're actually on the real island, or if they found an island that they use for other things. But the point being, unfortunately, it was a trap. And we see that we lost a couple of people because there was an explosive rig to the door. And I'm like, that's as soon as I saw that the door wasn't locked or anything, I'm like, oh man, that there's something there. Either someone's waiting inside or it's rigged, and unfortunately it was rigged. So we lost some people, and as I said, I still don't trust Captain Park. I just feel like he's definitely the spy. Like, something about him is just, maybe I'm wrong, but too many things just are not feeling right about him. And we're seeing once again that Juno was like, how did they, like, why would they rig a door that they use, right? If that's really where they're coming from, why would they do that when they have people who'd be using that door, unless they knew we were coming? So he's like, somebody is leaking information. He's like, someone somehow is leaking information to them because they're ready for us. So we have to figure out. So now he's saying maybe it's the people in the other boat. So he told the, Captain Park to contact them and say that, we're going to keep going. But he's like, we need to figure out where the leak is, because something's not making sense. How do they keep knowing where we're going to be? So yeah, I'm thinking it is Captain Park, and I'm wondering how long it's going to be before my guy figures it out. But either way, we're going to have to wait till the next episode to see if we tackle that in this season. So yeah, another good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.